Hello. Surprise. It's Wednesday, not Friday. Just popping on for a quick little hello. I'd like to show you some fall card ideas and just talk to you a little bit about what's going on with Stampin' Up this month. It's only about a week to go, right? So I can't believe it's the end of October. And just some last minute things that you might want to consider before the month ends. So let's give a little time for people to hop on. I know I got my glasses showing my maybe you could see my fall trees out there. uh Goodness, I love my craft room in the orientation that it is. And the only problem is though I'm facing the window. So when I do my lives, it's reflecting on my glasses. Oh, well, maybe I need a little screen up behind my computer to block that. So I'll have to work on something like that. Meanwhile, I'll just stay down and then I could see you all better. Actually, you could see me better, I suppose. Anyway, I hope you can kind of deal with that there. I see some people are popping on. Welcome. I know this is kind of last minute, just a little pop on. If you're watching live, I appreciate that. Good morning. Well, no, well, for some of you, it might be morning. It's noontime here on the East Coast. And so good afternoon, a couple minutes after 12. And for anybody west of me and other time zones, good morning to you. Okay, nice to see Debbie and Crystal and Wanda. Okay, nice to have you on so far today. So fall cards, who's making fall cards? A lot of us are geared toward Christmas and getting them done early. I am notorious for procrastinating on my Christmas cards because I think too much about them and I just don't like making decisions. So many ideas, and I think, okay, I should do something that's not too difficult or intricate because I send out a lot, about I don't know, at least 120 or so. And so that's a lot. So, but then it's terrible because I procrastinate and then I have less time to do the cards. If I started them earlier, then I wouldn't have to worry about it so much, right? Hi, Christine. Good morning. Um, so anyway, it's a catch 22. But anyway, I did order some products yesterday and with the intent of that's what I'm going to use for my Christmas cards, but haven't fully decided on the layout or the design yet. But I know which products I'm using. So I'm not telling because it's going to be a surprise. Some of you might be getting those cards. If you're customers of mine, if you are friends or my downline and family. So anyway, I always keep that a secret because I want you to enjoy it fresh when it comes in the mail. Okay, so anyway, I'm not sure if I'm going to make a card today. Maybe I will. We'll see how it goes. But I just pulled out a lot of my old favorite fall cards that I've done in the past. And right now I am, hold on, I got to fix my paper here. Okay, right now I am really thinking of using my autumn designer series papers, particularly the Splendid Autumn collection, which is just so pretty for all those autumn scenes. And I won't be able to use them the rest of the year. And by next year, they'll be retired. So my intent is to use this up. I have over a full pack here, plus another half a pack and some scraps. I'm going to get a lot of cards out of this. Okay, I've made my thank you cards with the paper, and I guess some of them could be used more in the spring, like this one perhaps. But anyway, by then there'll be other things that I want to use, some new products coming out. And so I am just not going to worry about saving or hoarding it. I'm going to use it up. Thanksgiving cards, whatever, thank yous, birthdays, anything. I'm going to use it because it's so beautiful. Okay, good morning. More people coming. Hi, Shirley. Do I only make one design for all your recipients? Would you make lots of different? Okay, you talk about Christmas cards, Crystal. I make one because that way yeah, okay, Christmas. I don't have to think, oh, what did I do last year? Who got which card? I just do one. I'm keeping it easy. Sometimes it gets boring making that many of the same card, but I kind of do assembly line style, and maybe um, I usually send them out according to whomever lives the farthest, because that way I know they will get theirs in time. And then people who live closer, it won't take as long to mail to them, my more local friends and family. So that's how I do mine. I'll maybe do about half of them and then get those out and then do the other half. So, yeah, good question, Crystal. Um, what about you? Do you make Christmas cards and send them out and make multiples of different designs? What does everybody do? Yeah, hump day, that's for sure. Okay, so let me know what you do. What do you guys do for Christmas cards? Do you make one for everybody, or do you do a few different designs? Always a good question. Thanks for asking. Alrighty. So I was looking last year. Let me get my card that I did last year. Hold on. While you guys are answering. Okay, I loved this design last year. I'm going to take it out of the cello bag so there's less glare. This is what I did last year. Used snowflakes and that snowflake paper. And I'm grabbing the punch topper. So this is the snowflake punch topper, tag topper. So I made this little tag and just punched the top of it. And then I made it a little bit longer so it hung down a little lower on the bottom and then popped up a little higher at the top. So it would give some contrast to the white background in between. Does that make sense? Because if you didn't have that, it would be white on white. And up here it would be white on white, and you wouldn't see that shape quite so much. But then I couldn't make it wider on the side because it fits right in here. But I didn't need that because it's against the Lost Lagoon paper. So it's kind of like, the opposite colors adjacent to each other. And I put on some of the rhinestones and some silvery edged ribbon. I love that one. That's my favorite too. Make the season sparkle. So that was my card last year. Yeah, you've done a lot, Crystal. Okay, Shirley's done several of different kinds. Making events. Yep. Okay. Yep. It's always good if you make extras. Like if you don't send out too many. I know not too many people do anymore, but I still love sending them and getting them. If you don't make too many and you have extra cards, you want to just make 2 of whatever you're making, send them or give them out to local people. You go to the post office, give them a card to say thanks for what you do. Give them, make a bunch and give them to the local senior home or doctor's office or dentist. Whenever you go, it's always nice to share our love of our craft, and we make cards. We like making cards. Okay, give them out. I'm guilty of keeping a whole bunch of them here. Talk about hoarding. I like hoarding my cards because sometimes I want to bring them out to show people and show my in my classes that, oh, here's a card I did, blah, blah, blah. So I have a lot to choose from over there, and they inspire me. If I see them, I'm very visual. If I see them, I'm going to remember and say, oh, yeah, I want to make those. So that's why, good segue into my fall cards. I'm going to show you some cards that I've made in the past with a fall theme. But of course, you can make them with any theme that you want. But since we're in autumn, we're going to talk about those. Let me grab them over here. And I'm going to pull out, this card is super special to me. I will never give this one away. I've made multiples. but I'm going to definitely hold on to this one. This card was the very first card, was the first card I made. Well, the card I made at my very first Stampin' Up convention. And guess what? It was here in Baltimore. It was many, many years ago. Oh gosh. I think it was, trying to think. Could have been 2012 or 13, something like that. Okay, yeah. So the very first convention I went to, this was the card we made. We got the stamp set, and it was one of the make and takes that we made with it. So I thought it was really fun. The front is cut short, as you can see here. The inside stamped with that sort of fall medallion. A little bit on the corner here, little on the corner here, and then you can see inside there. And then on this smaller crumb cake piece are 4 designs from that stamp set. This was one stamp, and this is one stamp, but this is the technique where you take your marker and you ink up the stamp. So the leaves and those dots were colored with my olive green marker, and then the flowers and the Cajun craze all on the one stamp. Then you huff on it to get it moist again if it dries out a little bit, and then you stamp, and that's what you get. We did the same thing on the greeting. And so we got 2 tones on the greeting, and same thing with the cap of the acorn versus the nut part. Okay, so don't forget that technique. So like it's a very special card. I didn't know anybody going. I just, my daughter was going to school in Baltimore, so I stayed with her. That was handy. She had an apartment at that time, so that was easy to do. And didn't know anybody there, didn't know any other demonstrators, but it was in the convention center here in Baltimore, and I was able to just walk down the street and be there. So fond memories of that. And I did meet some people, not that I remember them now, but it was nice. It was like a little bit out of my comfort zone to go someplace with hundreds and hundreds of people. But you know what? Everybody's just so welcoming. The demonstrator community, we just love getting together and meeting new people and sharing what we love about Stampin' Up. So that was a fun one. Hey, thank you, Crystal. Thank you, thank you. All right, last year, I took this design. I made several of them. These were my thank you cards last year. And I just love them. Love these cards. I can't exactly tell you why. Maybe just because it's plain and simple. But it kind of reminds me of like a photo hanging in a museum or something. Just the way it's sort of double matted with very, very fine lines there. And just very clean looking. It's on vanilla, and like I said, it's double matted. The back mat is black. Then I have wild wheat, and then I have the designer paper. And there were I don't have that other paper here right now in front of me, but some of you might remember some of those fall designs: squashes, gourds, pumpkins. There were even some with like tufted leather, and I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to use that pattern for? So, but you know what? This worked because it has that rustic feel to it. And then there was another one that was a little different, another piece in there that was row of books, old-fashioned looking books, but put that together with the fall leaves in there, and I think it came out quite nice. Same designs, just those different patterns. I just mixed and matched them. They all had the wild wheat and the black behind them, and they worked great. Here was another one that had sort of this dark fabric, almost like a corduroy look to it in the back, and that offset the orange leaves very nicely too. And then here's another one with the leaves and more of a knit, like your favorite sweater for fall. And then similar again, where the trees, I put the full tree in the back and then the up close of the leaves in front. So I don't know, just it's just one of my favorite cards. I just love those, nice and clean. And um, again, the vanilla, I don't use the vanilla all that often, but it gave it a nice softness, not too stark with the white behind it. And also when I'm doing um, card bases that don't have a lot of layers on the front, I definitely use the thick cardstock. Comes in white and vanilla. Okay, so as you know, the white and vanilla cardstocks are a little thinner than the colored cardstock. So the thick white and vanilla are more in line with the colored cardstock. Wait, I'm sorry, I don't have that memorized what it is off the top of my head. Now, one of these had some writing in it, but it was a discard. I started writing and it was, I made a mistake. So this is the one. I'm just going to keep it in there so I know I will not send that out to anybody. But so those are just fun, fun, fun. Okay, another real simple one from a while ago that I just, at first I thought this paper was a little odd. The black background with the pumpkins on it. But then I started just using my scraps, and I was actually at a scrap, a crop for scrapbookers, and I went with a friend. So I said, you know, I'm going to bring that paper and I'm going to do something with it. So I had, you know, the whole weekend to play around with that. And so I came up with these different designs, just mixed and matched all those patterns, and I think it came out great. Again, very simple on just a plain card base, but using those pieces there and mixing and matching. So this big square here is 2 3/4 wide by 3 inches tall. So let me write that down myself so I can share that with you. 2 3/4 wide and 3 inches tall. And then, of course, this is going to be 2 3/4 as well. And that's going to be 2 1/4 tall. Was that really 3? Yep, it was. Okay, that makes sense. So 3 and 2 1/4 would make 5 1/4, but you're leaving the 1/8 of an inch in between. So it's like your regular layer, but you're just leaving that extra 1/4 inch as if those were connected. All right, so then the little one up here, if you're interested, 2 inches by, looks like 1 1/4. And then this other one is 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. Yep. Okay. So we'll see if there's time a little later. Maybe we'll do that one up with the new paper. That one's nice and easy there. I'll leave that to the side just in case. All right. Here is another set. Let me grab all the ones using that set. I loved this. This was from a few years back. If you remember the blackberry with the gold, I loved that one. Loved, loved, loved that. And so this one was a crossover gatefold, we called it, because with your gatefold where it's split in the middle, but then the 2 panels on the top kind of crisscross over, and that kind of helps keep it closed too. So I absolutely loved that, and it came with a little ephemera pack for some of the labels. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you on. Glad you got on. Okay, Shirley, you're having buffing problems. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it works out for you. All right, and then I loved this die. We used to have some copper foil paper, so I used the copper on there. This was a crossover gatefold going vertically, and using a little bit of that copper foil in there as well. So super simple, a matted label, a little cut image and some pretty DSP. You're all set. Okay, just have to stamp the label, and that's good. Then here's another. I'm gonna have a lot of envelopes here to put these cards back into. This one a little bit more with the peacock. Okay, I think this was cinnamon cider. Yeah, could have been. Oh, it's a little faded because it's sitting in my window. Okay, but anyway, this one's just for showing anyway. So love those. And then here's a couple more with the horizontal orientation. Look at how little you need to make a really pretty card. Just using your designer paper. Put some on the inside on that one as well. And then here's one more. I'm really liking the Blackberry Bliss this season. I'm not sure why. I mean, I liked it before when I was using it for this too, but you kind of go with in and out of phases with some of your cards and colors, right? Yeah. Hello, Joan. Nice to see you from Minnesota. Okay, so again, let your DSP do the work for you. Okay, cut it from the same piece so the image is carried over from the top panel to the bottom. Okay, just a little hello card. All right, then this uses the same stamp set and dies, but I did a little bit more non-traditional fall colors. So using the Coastal Cabana, and I embossed with this hammered metal embossing folder. We don't have that one anymore, but something similar would work. And you just put your matte thatch with a black strip, a couple black embellishments. I fussy cut the sentiment and then matted it with black and fussy cut around that again. And it really sets off nice from the Coastal Cabana. So love those. Those were some of my favorites as well. Now on Friday for Coffee and a Card, I am going to do one of these designs. I'm not going to tell you. It's going to be a surprise, but you can look back and see what materials you need if you want to stamp along. Also sign up for my email list. If you haven't done that yet, go to my blog, stampwithlorraine.com, and let me find that. Okay. Here we go, stampwithlorraine.com, and you can sign up for my email list there, and you get a free tutorial when you sign up from there. All right. So all right, here's another fun one. Now I have a YouTube video on how to do this kind of a card from, I don't know, several years ago. I'll try to put the links in the comments later on. Using half circles to make this swirly look. Isn't that cool? I just thought that was really, really fun. Maybe I'll revisit that again. Okay, old techniques, you know, always need some refreshing. So just using the fall colors and having the acorn on there. And then here was another idea that I used. Can you see that? Yeah, okay, I won't take them out of the envelopes. You can see that fine. So on this one, I had a die that cut out the leaf, the maple leaf, and it left some stitching around the outside there. I'm not sure if you could see that, but anyway, I used the negative space for this card, and I used the positive, what I actually die cut out on this card. I punched the circle, or it looks like it was a die actually, and then put some designer paper behind it as my background, wrapped the twine around there, kept a simple greeting, and you have a great card. And then, not to throw this part out, I used it as my background. Now this embossing on the inside here, that hammered metal, was the same one that I used on that teal card on the foil, except this was flipped over. So this is the raised smooth side, and this is the back side where you see just the raised edges, which I thought reminded me of the veining on a leaf. Okay, or looked a little more crinkly, like a leaf that's drying up in the fall. So think about different ways to use the products that are typically used one way. You can sometimes use the other way. So there are two examples. Flip over the embossing folder and also use your die, but also use the negative space in some way. Okay, so simple cards there. I'm always thinking of ways to use the scraps or what's left over. You might have seen my post from yesterday where I was cutting out some of these circles for some birthday cards, and I had all the leftover little pieces. I said, well, this is too pretty. And, you know, the glimmer paper is a little more pricey than the regular paper, so I hate to waste any of it. So I just took those scraps and I took my bow punch and I started cutting some of these little guys. Even if it wasn't a whole one, if I tuck some of those behind some other flowers, it'll be fine because sometimes, you know, the parts of it are covered anyway. So, and then I found on Amazon these little tiny sauce containers. I said, how perfect would that be for when I'm doing some of my classes or even just for myself? See, I put those in there and now I could see what's in there. And, or if I'm putting a bunch of embellishments or sequins for a project for somebody or a kit that I mail out, they're really good. They are, I don't know what the ounce, maybe 1 ounce, could be. Okay, but they're tiny. They're good. I love them. They just came yesterday. First time using them last night. All right, and then here's another. Again, kind of just a simple, reminds me of like a gallery, an art gallery. So I'm just going to call these one of my art gallery cards because you have a framed image or picture, and then you have like your little plaque underneath. And I love putting 2 little embellishments on there as if that's the rivet holding up the plaque. And this had a mat on the, again, this is vanilla, and we had these vellum. Some of my friends know my joke about vellum. I'll see if I want to tell that another time. But anyway, there are these vellum squares that Stampin' Up sold one year, but it gave a nice texture to that layer without having to emboss or whatever. And yet it's still flat and it's really pretty, sort of a lacy design. And then I just colored those with the blends and it was die cut out. So very pretty. I love those pumpkins. Those are really nice. Those are nice. So here we go on that. So that's what I call my art gallery card. No official name. Okay, let me see what some of the comments are here. Hi, Mary. Oh, thank you so much. I enjoy making cards with you guys. I appreciate that. Thank you. Little containers for small punch out. Yep. Good. Great minds think alike, Joan. Got to be organized. Got to keep it. Otherwise, stuff would be all over the place. All right, here's another example of using the negative space. Again, these are all retired products, but you could do it with any of the new things that you have. Had this label punch, and then this layer here was die cut out. So I had punched the pumpkin and die cut it out and used that negative space. So the inside pumpkin was stamped on pumpkin pie cardstock and placed inside the opening on this top layer. And then just decorated with other die cuts and punches coming out of there. So it gives a little bit more of a dimensional look. And then that layer is raised up, and obviously, because otherwise it would be flat and it wouldn't look much different than if you just punched the pumpkin and adhered it on there. But because this layer is raised with dimensional dots, you see the depth. The pumpkin looks recessed inside there. Okay, got a few more for you. All right, here's another, which was, what's the word? Imagined, I guess, from some rejects. All right, I'm going to explain it to you in a second. I did a video a while ago on floating elements to cards, where I took some clear acetate. Now, in between here, you can see it shining in between those stripes. Those stripes are actually glued onto some clear acetate, and then it's raised up from behind, being careful to just put my foam strips behind the cardstock strip so that you don't see it. It looks like that whole layer is floating. And because you can see through in between, it really gives that illusion of floating as opposed to just a solid piece there. So I made some of these that were circles, and I put die cuts over them. And in fact, I had the honor of somebody contacted me, somebody who does these blog hops. They take a card that they like as inspiration, and maybe about 8 or 10 or 12 of the ladies in the group all use that same card for inspiration and do their own thing with it. Okay, change it up, take one element that they like about that card and use that in some way on their own creations. So they took not particularly this card, but they did see my video of raised floating elements, and this was shown in that collection as well. But I had the honor that they asked permission to use my card for their inspiration. And I think I shared it on here on Facebook, where to look for those. So if you've seen that, maybe you recognize this card, or maybe you can look back and try to find that. So it's also one of my YouTube videos from a while ago. But anyway, so I wanted to take this background and die cut a piece out of it, but it was so thick that it didn't work. So I'm thinking, oh, gee, okay, I did that. So what I ended up doing was just die cutting a brown leaf and laying it over this. So I still got the stitching in the back, even though it didn't cut all the way through. I don't know if you could see that. Okay, there you go, maybe. Okay, so I'm stitching all around there, and then I just laid the brown leaf on top of that, and I have this nice, pretty fall card. Okay, and then this, oh my gosh, this embossing folder that's on here, on this layer here, was my absolute favorite of all time. It's retired now, but I just wish it were here. It's Tasteful Textile. It's just enough to give a little bit of texture, but not overwhelm any of your projects. Yet it's a little bit nicer than just the plain card. That was my absolute favorite, and I wish that or something like it would come back. So please, Stampin' Up, hear my plea. It would be nice to see that again. Oh, so I had used that on this one too, now that I'm looking at it. Hey, can you see that? Okay, just a little bit of texture. It looks like linen cloth, something like along those lines. Okay, here's a clean and simple look using the embossed background. I forget what it's called, painted texture or something like that. Okay, it looks like, thick paint smeared around, or stucco, something like that. I used a stitch circle, 2 stitch circles actually, a larger one and a smaller one. I die cut the smaller one out of the larger one to make that little hole, but I did it offset so it didn't look too much like a donut. Did it offset, and then use that to overlap. And then I took these die cuts and had the branch coming out of that inner circle, and then have the oak and the acorn there. So clean and simple, a couple of leaves falling off of there. And that's another one of my favorite cards there too. Okay. Okay, you can find something like that at the Dollar General store. They connect like 5 of them. Okay, talking about the containers, Shirley. Okay, I'm sure there are lots of ideas, but find whatever works for you. Yeah, Dollar Store is a great place to find those kind of things. to hold your little tchotchkes, hold your little goodies. Okay. Okay, something I don't always do, but I'm going to share with you anyway. Um, I do bingo cards. I do bingo games a couple times a year. Hope you can join us sometime. And usually I don't share publicly those projects because I keep it to the people who have paid for bingo. But I will show you these cards. And if I duplicate them some other time, then that's fine. But for my bingo games, we do 3, sometimes 4 projects, depending on how intricate they are. And then we play bingo in between doing those projects, and they're winners. And it's just lots of fun. So I send out kits, and you can do the projects that I do. So here are some of the things that we did with one of the fall. I forget the name of the stamp set, but this is what we did. We did a fun fold that opened up like that, a Z fold. Okay, love that. Love that plaid. Right? How rustic is that? Very cute. And the falling leaves inside, different colors. And little non-traditional with the pebbled path paper and that foiled paper that we had last year. And then again, going with the wild wheat, which wasn't everyone's favorite, but great for fall. It almost has a greenish tint to it. You can see up here that was stamped in wild wheat, but yet it looks a little greenish. So it reminded me of a pumpkin that wasn't fully ripe yet. But I thought that was kind of fun, especially with black. I love the wild wheat with the black. So that was that. And then we also did this cute little Post-it note holder. There's no Post-it note in there right now, but with the pumpkins on there in non-traditional colors. A little holder for the pen on the side and a little magnetic closing. And that was a lot of fun. So those were the 4 projects we did for bingo. So if I ever do it, well, I did a bingo in the summer, which was using some Christmas online exclusives that had just come out. Maybe I'll do another bingo soon, but I do a couple times a year. So stay posted. It's a lot of fun and you get some great ideas there. All right. So one of those cards I'm going to do with you on Friday. So it's going to be a surprise. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. Love that. I love that circles too. So clean and simple look, just kind of classy. So we will do one of those projects on Friday. And in the meantime, I want to remind you of the Stampin' Up sale that's going on right now, where all the kits in the online exclusive are 30% off. Okay, and that's just to the end of the month. So if you love the kits, or if you haven't tried it before and you are thinking maybe you want to give it a try, now's a good time. 30% off all the kits. Okay, not necessarily Paper Pumpkin, that's a subscription, but all the kits. Kits are not in the main catalog, but they are on the online exclusives. So take a look over there. There are kits for every season, some for kids, some floral, some more masculine, some scenic ones, birthdays. There's even a honeycomb one that has a pop-up on the inside that's really, really sweet. There's some with dogs. There's a lot of different kits to suit anybody's style. So take a quick look at that. Okay. Also this month, a fabulous deal on the starter kit to join Stampin' Up and being a demonstrator. Starter kit is just $99, which it always is, $99, but Stampin' Up has added on an extra sweet deal. Typically, you get $125 worth of goodies that you choose. Stampin' Up doesn't have a pre-designed starter kit, but you get to choose the products that you want, because maybe you've been stamping, maybe for a long time you have certain products. They're not going to tell you, oh, you have to buy a red ink pad and you have to buy this trimmer and blah, 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 blah. You might already have those things. So you can get to choose whatever you want from the current offerings in the catalog or online. And you can also now we have pre-order for what's coming out in November. So you can also take advantage of that. So that's one of the other perks about being a demonstrator. You get to order some products a month early. So instead of 125 this month only, you get $30 extra of products. So $99 and you get 155. I always feel badly for people, some of my customers that order like $150 worth of stuff or 125 or whatever or 200. You know, there are people who love the products and are ordering a lot. But then I say, if you had only spent $99, you would have gotten that extra, you know, $56 worth of stuff for free. You know, instead of spending the money on that. So the and then from there forward, you get to save 20% on all of your orders, or if you have any customers ordering from you, you get 20% commission on that. Once you bump up to a certain sales level, then you can start earning 25%. So it's a great deal. You only have to have 300 in sales per quarter. So that rounds off to 100 a month in sales. But after your discount, that only costs you $80 a month. Okay. But you just do it by the quarter. It doesn't have to be every month. You could budget yourself that way if you like. But so just $240 every quarter. So that's really not a whole lot if you're already spending money on supplies anyway. So that's what got me when I joined 21 years ago. I said, you know what? I was spending money at all the craft stores and getting inferior products. And I said, you know, why not get the Stampin' Up! Products at the discount? And I end up spending the same amount of money. I can make my minimum and still get the better products at that cost. So it was great. And I'm so glad I did, because I had made so many friends and so many acquaintances, and I've been at it for 21 years, and that tells you something. So, yeah. Okay. So Crystal, there you go. There's a testimonial. Signed up as a hobby demonstrator. You don't have to have a business. You can, but you don't have to. I was a hobby demonstrator for many years, and I just had some of my friends ordering from me. I wasn't pushing a business, and I still don't push a business. I just do what I like to do and share what I love, and the products and the experiences sell themselves. Okay. Take advantage of Lorraine. Oh, thank you, Crystal. I appreciate that. Hi, Melinda. Good morning. So Melinda's part of my team. Hopefully she can say how much she's been enjoying it. She's been with me for, let me see here. Yeah, for, I don't know, a few years. A few years this month, actually, Melinda. Your anniversary is coming up. So... yeah, no, actually, October 20th was your join date. I just looked on my board over there. So happy Stampiversary. Stampiversary. That's what we call it. So about 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was Melinda. Yep. So, okay, it's a great deal. So not only that, you get Stampin' Up! Has some Facebook page. It's got great support. The website has a lot of information on it to help you learn about the products and learn about if you want to start a business, the opportunity is there. But nobody is ever pushing you to have a business or to sell or whatever. We might help you or encourage you if that's what you want to do. It doesn't hurt to have a customer or two. You could just do that and help offset what you have to pay for the quarter. But as long as you meet your quarterly minimum, Stampin' Up! Is happy. I'm happy. I want my teammates to be happy. There are some that are starting their own little businesses or doing videos. Actually, only one is doing a video out of, about 30 that are on my team right now. But so that's okay. Others are starting to, put some things on Facebook or try to get a few customers. It could be whatever you want it to be. And you also get my perks. We have team meetings. We have anything that I send out to my customers as far as card ideas, PDF tutorials, things that are not actual products, my team gets for free. If I do a bingo class, bingo participants get the kits and get the PDFs. My team gets the PDFs as well. My paper shares, people buy the paper and get the PDFs. My team gets the PDFs for free too. So any of those perks, my team will get as well. If they want to do my paper share, they have to pay for the paper, but they get the other stuff free regardless. Whatever I send out to everybody. Okay. Okay. Yep. No regrets from Melinda. She loves it. Loves all the stuff. Yep. And Debbie is a hobby demonstrator as well, so she can attest lack of pressure, right? So it's just whatever you want it to be. Yeah. So if you have any other questions, I will be very happy to chat with you. You can email me, give me a shout out. You can we can arrange a talk. Here is my email address. Okay, just ask me whatever you want. Okay, ask me here. Ask me on my email. Give me your phone number if you want me to give you a call, and we can talk about that. It makes no it's and oh, the other thing is you can drop at any time, so you can sign up, try it out for a little bit. If it doesn't work for you, you can just drop. There's no penalty. Stampin' Up is not going to ask for your products back. There's no penalty for dropping. You're not going to have to pay anything extra. Okay, you'll just be dropped, and you won't be getting your discount anymore. All right, but you could still be a customer of mine. So whatever you choose to do is all good. Does anybody have any other questions before I go off? There's just so much I love to share about this. I have met so many friends, and I've told you the story before. When I joined, Stampin' Up was always saying, "Oh, you meet so many people, you make new friends," and not to sound snobby, and I'm not snobby, but I was like, I have lots of friends. I'm not joining Stampin' Up because I'm going to make friends. But you know what? I can attest. It's amazing, the friendships and the connections I've made. What Stampin' Up says, it's not all about stamps, ink, and paper. All right. Oh, thanks, Karen. I love you. It's about the connections. It really is. And Karen and I right here are a good example of that. She joined my customer list a few years ago, and we've just been talking, and we've made friends and been speaking virtually and texting and calling each other. And just last month, we got a chance to meet in person for the first time, and it was awesome. Awesome. Lots of hugs and laughs and just she was just so kind to invite my husband and I out to visit her and her husband in Utah. So it's just amazing. It's just a blessing. It really is. And several demonstrators I've met, and Karen's part of the team now too. So several demonstrators I've met, I get to see whenever I go to the conventions, or I've connected with online, or if I have a question for another demonstrator, I can call and ask them, team up and do some projects together. It is just amazing. So just consider it. $99, you get $155 worth of stuff. Bam, that's it. That's all you have to do. Not that I'm convincing you to join and let it go, but if it doesn't work out for you, you can let it go. It's all right. So I hope I hear from you, and I hope you become part of the team. I'm wearing my love shirt because this is what I love, right? Love, love, love. I got this at the leadership convention when we were in Las Vegas. Stampin' Up gave us the t-shirts, and then as a perk, sent us to the Beatles Love Cirque du Soleil show, which was an awesome show out in Las Vegas. And it just reminds us, this is what we love. We do what we love. We love what we share what we love. We do what we love. And that's the Stampin' Up logo motto. All right. So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you on Friday to make one of those cards. Oh, and if you are on my mailing list, sometime a little bit later today, I will send you a couple of um, instruction sheets on how to make a couple of the cards that I just showed you today. So if you're not on my mailing list, go right over right now to my blog, stampwithlorraine.com, and sign up, because later on today, I will send out 3 PDFs for instructions on 3 of those cards. Again, it'll be a surprise. So I hope you enjoy that. And we'll see you on Friday. Thanks for joining on today. Or if you're watching the replay, I appreciate that as well. See you Friday, Eastern time at 10 a.m. And have a great rest of the day, guys. Bye-bye. Hugs to everyone.